Series 1 OCG is chock full of formats given how often sets were coming out between its run from February 1999 through March of the following year. At times, it can be hard to dictate what defines a format since booster sets weren't core releases, but at times were certainly impactful, such as Booster 4, and limited lists were event-specific back then. For the most part, it was a free-for-all, with only 2 lists being created specifically for the 2 major events of the Series 1 OCG. The first National Conference in August 1999, and the second National Tournament in March 2000. Whether you played by the announced lists at a local level was up to your scene, but generally, at least in retrospect, the formats adhere to their respective lists. This gives us 2 clear formats to start with. The first event at the Tokyo Dome would feature all releases up through Volume 4 and the valuable Book 1 promotional cards. Booster 4 would not be legal at this time, and therefore neither would the premium pack cards. So no Gemini Elf, Graceful Charity, or the Head of Exodia. Technically speaking, the prize cards would fall under this category too, since they weren't even given out until December due to the riots that I've covered in my Yugioh OCG series, which, I hope you've watched already. If not, go watch it. The list itself would follow the events list that would limit the following cards to 1 copy per deck: Dark Hole, Raigeki, and Trap Hole. A lot of hole hate going around, eh? Volume 4 Yu-Gi-Oh! In many ways was the last bastion of truly classic Series 1 gameplay, before monster attack points and draw power saw a surge in strength with Booster 4. Your main beaters at this point were of the 1600 family: Beautiful Headhuntress, Great White, and Rogue Doll. So battle traps would still be useful against 2K defenders, and these humble monsters highlight other card strengths better, like Summon Skull, Man-Eater Bug, and tech cards like Shine Palace. And aside from Vanilla Beat, deck variety is there too, such as Earth Beat, Mask Virus, Harpy, UO Control, and even Dokuro Rider if you're feeling particularly spicy. There was a solid mix between beaters, flips, and back row cards, making the Tokyo Dome format a great place to start if you're looking for a Series 1 format to try out. On the farther end of things, the second national tournament would be the culmination of Series 1 as it goes through Booster 7, the final release sans Dark Ceremony. The revision list for this event would limit the following cards, in addition to the Tokyo Dome's limitations: each Exodia piece, Change of Heart, Last Will, Pot of Greed, and Mirror Force. Graceful Charity, Harpy's Feather Duster, and Monster Reborn would be semi-limited, allowing 2 copies of each in a deck. And Trap Hole would be off the list entirely. Yeah, too bad for you, Dark Hole and Raigeki. In addition to Last Will being errated, so now it only works once per card. And the errata also applies to Sangan and Witch. And for the record, if you're playing earlier formats, then you still would play with the Last Will and Sangan/Witch erratas. That's just how they play in retrospect now. This turned the previously Exodia-driven format into a much more diverse format, since now both Exodia OTK and Cannon Soldier OTK were stifled. This isn't to say the second Nats format didn't have plenty of remaining firepower, as Booster 7 introduced a lot of strong cards. Jirai Gumo, Dream Clown, and Heavy Storm would be the big cards from the set, adding a boost for beatdown, control, and back row removal. And there'd be fun tech cards like Stim Pack that furthered the evolution of Equip Magic, and Skull Knight, a strong fusion that only requires low-level materials. As the Tokyo Dome format is like a culmination of early Series 1, the second Nats format is a culmination of Series 1 as a whole. Decks at this point had way more player expression than ever before. Beatdown had options, as did Control, Fusion, Equips, and even Rituals thanks to Premium Pack 2 giving duelists access to the OG BLS. I mean, you can still technically play Exodia, albeit a neutered version compared to the full power EX version. And if you wanted to play to the end of Series 1, then you have additional Dark Ceremony rituals to mess around with too. This was not a bad end to Series 1 at all. Technically speaking, there was also the Duel Monsters National Tournament in February 1999. Though the event revolved around the video game Duel Monsters 1, people did have access to the physical card game. However, this was during the official rules period, so the gameplay was different, and the card pool only included Volume 1 cards alongside the participation card, Kanan the Sword Mistress. The prize cards were not legal for play in any capacity. While you could technically play using the expert rules, it wouldn't be true to the time. If you did, you'd find the Kanan format still be defined by monster ratios and equip magic. Kanan would greatly shift the format due to her power being above any of 1200 attack beaters. Thus, the warrior build would be more popular compared to Spellcaster, Aqua, or Beast variants. Some would tech in Beast Fangs to allow Silver Fang to attack over Kanan, or Book of Secret Arts to get your Dark Magician over the opponents. Still, Legendary Sword giving your Kanan and Gaia a power boost, or perhaps a Kagemusha if need be, was certainly worth the inclusion. Others would barely play equips at all in favor of a steady stream of monsters. Try this format for those truly curious. But what about other formats that weren't tied to a specific event? For starters, it's easy to point to any pre-Exodia formats and post-Expert Rules format. In that regard, Booster 5 may be the last stable format before Volume 6 came and upgraded Exodia to a more notable degree with Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest. The speed of the game certainly ramped up from the Tokyo Dome. A lot would change between August and October. Card releases like Gemini Elf, Change of Heart, and Royal Decree gave the game much more dynamic gameplay. With everything previously released, the standard build was relatively balanced, and there are fun rogue options like Dragon Revival and Dinosaur Fusion. Even the new Deck Destruction deck was checked by the existing meta. There's more than enough formats to try despite the valley lows of Series 1. The official rules epoch isn't anything of interest unless you're a diehard fan, and the post-Exodia hell most definitely soured what otherwise would have been solid formats like Booster 6, which for that format, Exodia was yet to be at full power, so, that's a silver lining. And by then, it's better to jump ahead to Booster 7, you know what I mean? All that said, if you want to look at what I would argue are the best ones, the Tokyo Dome First National Conference, Booster 5, and the Second National Tournament would be your best bets. It covers a wide range throughout the Series 1 timeline, from the early days to right before the Exodia formats to the climax that healed and defined the game moving forward. But what do you all think? Are these formats worth considering? Are there other formats within Series 1 that one should look at? Let me know down below, and make sure to become a Janjo patron to ensure this channel stays in the long haul. Duel on, passionate duelist!